and his family wants him to step down. The Kremlin disputes the report. Job growth is reported stronger than expected in October, as unemployment rate slid to under 7%. The Labor Department reported Friday that non-farm payrolls increased 638,000 jobs last month. Stock markets reacted positively to the news, with Dow futures erasing most of their earlier losses Friday morning. NBC weatherman Al Roker on the Today Show Friday reveals he has cancer.
Turns out I have prostate cancer. And it's a good news, bad news kind of thing. And good news is we caught it early. Not great news is that it's a little aggressive. So I'm going to be taking some time off to take care of this.
The 66-year-old wanted to bring to light 1 in 7 African-American men and 1 in 9 men overall will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. So go get tested. USA Radio News.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-610-5739. 800-610-5739. That's 800-610-5739. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
The Packers beat the 49ers 34-17 on Thursday Night Football, Week 9. Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers tells NFL.com the 49ers are a different team this year.
Yeah, I mean, it was good for us. It was a different game. They're obviously depleted on both sides of the ball. They've had, probably one of the worst injury years I've seen in a long time. So it's not the same football team that we saw twice last year, but, they still have possibly the best middle linebacker in the game and a lot of pride, and we went out and executed the way we expected to.
Green Bay holds a 12-3 record versus San Francisco in the regular season since 1996. NASCAR is coming down to the wire Sunday in Phoenix, Arizona for the season finale 500. Driver Jimmy Johnson reflects on his career.
I'm trying to right now, and I feel like if this year was as intended and COVID didn't happen, I would have a much deeper, richer experience. But I have had a great one, and being honored in ways at the various tracks, social media, and the fans reaching out. My partners and sponsors are doing neat things on social right now. NASCAR just did something recently. I'm seeing these things, and it is helping me take it in, and I'm finally allowing myself to do it. The time is right, so it's very meaningful. And I look back on these highlights, and I cannot believe it's me in that 48 car with that race team having all this success. It's been a wild journey.
For USA Radio News, I'm Lance Pry.
Today, many of us are paying attention to our health, and what we eat plays an important role. But so often the water we drink is a mere
And we're live with the Conservative Watch Hour. And here's our hosts, Annie Marie Delgado and Ann Vandersteel.
And a good morning to everybody.
Welcome to the Conservative Watch Hour. And here we are on a Mega Friday, 3 days after the election, with my co-host Ann Vandersteel from SteelTruth.com. Miss Ann, how are you, my dear?
I'm good, Annie. I'm just wondering if I should be peeling a banana this morning for this republic that the Democrats would have us believe we live in right now.
I could barely hear you.
Well, let's see if maybe
that.
Joe picks that on the
Try that again, Ann.
I'm getting an echo in my ear as well.
All right. Joe, are you able to pick up on that?
We're going over the air very loud and clear. The other thing I cannot help you with, but you're going over the air loud and clear.
Okay, good. All right, Ann. My apologies there.
No worries, Annie.
So here we are. We're 3 days after the election. That means a lot to me and a lot of other people that I know. 3 days.
It does. 3 days, 3 nights. What happened on the third day?
That's right. That's right.
So,
and
Andy,
we
what
have
happened on
quite
Thursday?
a
I
bit
know we're
going
having
on
technical
across
difficulties
this
because I have
nation.
an unbelievable echo in my
As the
ear.
information is coming in quickly and rapidly changing day by day. I know we've got a lot of updates for our listening audience today, and certainly we're going to try and get through state by state what's going on here, but more importantly, what's going on the corruption side.
Okay, we're up
Andy, there.
No, she has dropped off. She has dropped off the phone line. I don't know what happened, Annie, but Ann has dropped off the phone line for some reason or another. I don't know what happened, but we have you here. So we'll stick with you right now. How's that sound?
She'll get back on here in a minute. And like I was saying, look, as we see states like Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, and what we watched on election night, which was election day, election night. And, we still have a Constitution in the United States of America. And that Constitution calls for an election to be held on November 3rd. And on November 3rd...
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Okay. All right. So it's talking about we still have a Constitution in the United States of America, and on November the 3rd, which is election day and night. That's it. Now, unless like a state like Pennsylvania had their Supreme Court give them permission to extend it for 3 days, any other state that's been doing this is violating the Constitution, and it's criminal. Any other votes that came in after that are not legitimate votes. But still, here we have...
Andy, why are they allowed to get away with it?
These other states... Excuse me?
Why are they allowed to get away with it then?
Well, I don't know that they're allowed to. I don't believe they're allowed to one bit whatsoever. And this is why we're going to go through these states, and this is why the Department of Justice has, yes, indeed, because multiple states have literally blocked the Republicans from going in to participate in voting counting and viewing these and observing them. We had Corey Lewandowski and Pam Bondi right here from the state of Florida, Pam Bondi, up in Pennsylvania, and they wouldn't allow them to go in. So the DOJ has now stepped in. So I don't think that they're being allowed to, because they're violating the Constitution, number one. If they don't have, these states cannot just arbitrarily say, oh, well, we'll hold the election whenever we feel like it. Wrong. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, because how ironic, Andy, is that, between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden they found 100,000 ballots, and, oh, jeepers, how cool is this? All 100,000 ballots went to Joe Biden. Wrong. Did I lose her again?
She dropped out again for some reason or another. She must be having problems with her phone, Annie. You're still live. So
yeah, I guess so. Okay, so I'm going to continue on with that, because that is absolutely unconstitutional. We've had multiple scholars. We've had our legal team under the wonderful leadership of Rudy Giuliani. We have the most amazing team assembled of lawyers that are in each and every one of these states. And we can say with full confidence that these illegal ballots will not and should not be counted, and will not be counted. And these are going to go to different levels, I will say, of scrutiny, where we must contact every state legislator in all of these states that are illegally bringing in votes in the middle of the night in some dark alleyway, unloading them from some truck and saying, oh, yay, hey, look at here. We found another 100,000 for Biden. Not how it works. And it doesn't matter which party it is. It should never work that way in this country. And so this is why we're working so hard to make sure that this kind of illegal activity never repeats itself. Again, we do have an incredible team out there in these states. Now, I've been fielding so many calls. So for my listening audience, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I have been for days here now, fielding these calls of people that are calling me and saying, Annie, they're full of anxiety. I'm depressed. And I say, listen, folks, take the word depression out of your vocabulary. Stand strong. Stand in the gap with our Savior. Keep your faith. God is in control at all times. This will indeed, this injustice, this fraud that is happening will be revealed. God will reveal it. Not just God, but every God-loving American that loves this country that are in these positions to take charge and expose the fraud and criminal activities that are currently going on. It will all be revealed. We must keep the faith. We must stand strong. And we must contact our legislators. That's the next step. So as we move into the process, legal process of how this is going to take place, I'm going to get further into details with that. At this point in time, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsor, and we'll be right back. So you hang in there for the rest of the update. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow. And like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat. I would flip-flop all night long. I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed. It's about how much of that quality sleep we get. And I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
Right now, MyPillow has a special offer for you. 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. Each pillow is made in the USA and is machine washable and dryable. Call 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Annie to get 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. That's 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Annie.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Promo code Annie.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Clouds and sunshine today with a shower in places this afternoon, high 82 to 84. Patchy clouds tonight, warm with a low of 72 to 75. And mostly cloudy Saturday with a passing shower and a high of 81 to 83. Cloudy and windy Sunday with a couple of thunderstorms, high 79 to 82. Then Tropical Storm Eta will affect the area Sunday night and Monday with some rain and wind. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holbrook.
And we're back with more Conservative Watch Hour. Ann Vanderstill, are you there?
I am, Joe. Thank you so much. I apologize to everybody about the technical difficulties this morning. This is how it is sometimes in live radio. You just roll with the punches. We were talking about the election 2020. We're now in day 3 of this election debacle. Annie Delgado, are you with me?
I certainly am.
All right. I'm not sure if you're able to hear me okay. There's still a little bit of an echo, but we'll just persevere because this is information that needs to get out to the public.
And I don't know why, but Satan, get out of here.
Yeah, no kidding. It is what it is. So in terms of the election process, I just was going to start summarizing this. You know, we're witnessing some extraordinary times here, and President Trump keeps talking about and tweeting about he has won on all of the legal voting that has gone on. And I think what we're witnessing right now is the great reveal of just how corrupt the deep state has been on both sides of the aisle in terms of election fraud. And we saw Florida for years become the poster child for election fraud, specifically down in Broward County with a former supervisor of elections, Brenda Snipes. Once she was relieved of duty and Palm Beach County's SOE turned over, we've seen a massive shift in the election integrity in Florida, in a state with 5 million voters or residents, was able to call an election by 10 o'clock. We had all the votes counted. Just because the media didn't call it doesn't mean it wasn't done. But, it seems that integrity was restored to Florida, and we had what I would consider our probably first flawless national election in years. And the rest of the country hit panic. The mainstream media hit the panic button, and they immediately started peddling this Biden theory that he was going to win, despite the fact that President Trump garnered over 100,000 more votes in Miami-Dade than he did in 2016. So we're witnessing the concerted and coordinated effort of the mainstream media working in tandem with corrupt officials nationwide to try and subvert a coup on this president and steal an election. And it's very obvious as we roll into day 3 here, President Trump lawyered up a long time ago, Annie, and was ready for this because he saw how he did it. They did it in 2018. He said, here's how we're going to combat it. We're going to have to go to the courts and fight it out that way. So I just, I think that is really something that needs to be explained to the public. But where do we go from here once we start to uncover the fraud? How does it end up where the president has a shot at winning? Because the past 270 is marred and mired in fraud all over the place.
Exactly. And I was just speaking about that, Ann, and talking about the fact that it goes to the legislators, of the states. And once we, and everyone that's our listening audience, if you're in the state where they're still counting, they're still doing the shenanigans, you need to call your state legislators and demand that they assume and take over the elections in their prospective states, because that's the next step, and that's the legal next step that happens. Certainly it goes then from there on to the House, congressional that is, and each state gets one vote. Knowing that we have more Republican state legislators around the country, we will easily get the vote for the president and dispel and take out these fraudulent votes, which we know are happening across the nation in so many states. There's so much evidence of it. And I can say that after that, it goes to the Senate. This is just a procedural that's in place constitutionally. And certainly we know that we have the votes in the Senate to rectify this. And if we don't successfully do that, it goes to the Supreme Court. That's the process. That's the process that was in play when I was part of it in 2000 with the Gore versus Bush. And we had the hanging chads, and we had to go through watching these trucks go up and down 95. Oh, no, turn around, come back. It was insane. But because of that, we learned a lot from that. And President Trump is, they'd have to wake up a whole lot earlier to be ahead of this man. He certainly knows. He certainly realizes that, if the country, the whole nation realized that they tried everything they can to take this gentleman out, a legitimately duly elected president, illegally, by fraud, with the help of corrupt individuals at the high level. Not all FBI are corrupt, but the highest level, that 7th floor, as they call it. And we were victorious in that. They weren't able to do it then with the impeachment. It just goes on and on. They'll stop at nothing. But the point is that right now, every single state that is doing this that did not have, listen, the election was on November 3rd. Election day wasn't November 4th, 5th, or 6th, or 7th, 8th, or 9th, or 10th. It's November 3rd. So these states that did not have, like Pennsylvania went to the courts to expand their time frame for 3 days. Well, I don't think that happened in Nevada, in Michigan, in Arizona. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ann.
No.
But then what they're doing is they're violating the Constitution. Any ballot that came in, that's right, buddy, any ballot that came in after November 3rd is not a qualified ballot. I don't care who it went to, because President Trump won this nation in a landslide on November the 3rd. Now all they've done is try to steal it from him.
That's
but
right.
They're doing it illegally. They're doing it in contradiction to our Constitution. And this is why now the DOJ and folks are going to have to step in, and they are stepping in.
So, Annie, let's be very clear here. I want to be very clear here, because you said something that required civic responsibility. And I witnessed Donald Trump Jr. speaking in Las Vegas a week ago, or actually this past Sunday, right before the election. And he had a very good speech. It was high energy, off the cuff, no script. He was up there just Don being Don Jr., really, really well spoken. And he said something that resonated with me and had me on my feet, giving him a standing ovation before the rest of the room actually heard him. And he simply just said, hey, you know what, guys? Joe Biden and Barack Obama having the positions of power isn't their fault. It's your fault. You need to rectify the situation. You need to stand up and be counted, and you need to make sure your vote is heard. You're counted and your voice is heard, and you need to make better choices. You need to know who you're putting in office. He goes, this is the electoral process, so we need to, impart upon our listeners, it's our civic duty to stand up. So what you just did was a call to action when you said, we need to contact our state legislators and demand that they take over this process, which is going against the election integrity of November 3rd. Nothing after then should be counted. So we need to demand that they do it and force the legal maneuver, which means that every state gets one vote, right? And then it goes to the Senate. So we have, it would be 28 states that are Republican strongholds versus 22 Democrats. So we would win on that alone and to hopefully avoid the SCOTUS. But if need be, it goes on to the Senate. And if need be to be rectified, then it goes on to the Supreme Court. But we need to help get people engaged to demand this from their state legislators, that they do this process.
And that is a call to action for every single state. Even the states that we've already won, just because it doesn't apply, so I do want to be clear with that, to Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, and Arizona. It applies to every single state in the State of the Union. Start calling your legislators, tell them to take over the election, because they are going to have to. And the majority of these states have Republican state legislators, even though some of them have a Democrat governor, which they're the ones that are handling it right now. Take it out of their hands. They have every single legal right to do so. That is part of the process. To make sure that they take this and rein it in and stop this nonsense, stop this coup of trying to take out a president that won by a landslide on November the 3rd, Donald J. Trump. And then from there we can move on and stop this nonsense, stop this stealing, this corruption that has multiple layers to it. It's just not, we have so much evidence from the folks on the ground that are in these different polling places that are changing ballots. We watch them. We have video of them stamping them and then filling them out themselves.
Yep.
I mean, there's so much evidence of so much corruption here. This needs to stop. And, of course, all the ones that came in at 3 and 4 in the morning.
Those are the ones that are most disconcerting. Annie, I remember being down in Alabama for the special election with Judge Roy Moore and Doug Jones. And I was reporting live for 3 hours that night from the Judge Roy Moore watch party. And Judge Roy Moore was winning all night. Steve Bannon was there. There was a cast of celebs, so to speak. It was full-on media at this watch party. And it was expected to have Judge Roy Moore win. And at the last minute, at the bottom of the hour, what ended up happening? We had massive ballot dumps coming in from the cities at 50,000 at a time, all 100% for Doug Jones, the Democrat candidate. Now, I recall Bill Mitchell and myself, who were broadcasting, saying, what on earth is that? We've never seen that, ever, in my life, in covering elections and just being a citizen who follows it closely. That was a very big tell. Florida's been a big tell for how they seal, and I believe that they're looking to allow the election seal to continue to flush out these individuals that are corrupt. And we're going to have to win this in the legal fashion, which is why this is so important that everybody listening starts calling their state legislators in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Utah, Nevada, Oregon, wherever, and demand that they take over the election process so that we can get a clean election with legal ballots. And that is just, if we don't do this now, Annie, if we don't do this now and we give up the presidency, we are forever mired as a banana republic. We really will be. We'll never get it back.
This is so very true, Ann. This is so very true. Listen, we're coming up on a commercial break, so I want to just tell you folks to hang in there. I've got a special guest coming on in the second and a half hour here that is going to be explosive. We're going to talk about how the effects of the minority vote and how we won Florida with the Hispanic vote and on and on. So we're going to come right back here, folks. So you hang in there.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Vladimir Putin is planning to step down as Russia's president next year amid growing fears for his health. The claim is made by Moscow political scientist Valery Solovyi. In the paper The Sun, Solovyi also said the Russian leader's girlfriend and his 2 daughters are pushing him to leave office. There's speculation Putin has contracted Parkinson's disease from medical people watching videos on Putin's recent public appearances. Russian lawmakers are also considering legislation proposed by Vladimir that would grant all future Russian ex-presidents lifetime immunity from criminal prosecution. Election officials in several states said Thursday they are worried about their safety of their staffs amid a stream of threats and gathering of angry protesters outside their doors. Joe Gloria, the Register of Voters in Clark County, said, "I can tell you that my wife and my mother are very concerned for me." While the protests have not been violent or very large, local officials were distressed by the crowds and concerned about the relentless accusations. USA Radio News.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-610-5739. 800-610-5739. 800-610-5739. That's 800-610-5739.
Owner of Lone Star Transfer. If you are a timeshare owner, getting out is probably a top priority. And now that annual maintenance fees are coming due, this ongoing burden and expense is at the top of your list. Thankfully, we can help. Let us do for you what we have done for thousands of others across the country. Our process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. Lone Star Transfer has a 99% success rate and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. We are a family-owned business and will personally make sure your experience is a pleasant one. Don't let another day go by with maintenance fees taking your hard-earned money. Give us a call for a no-obligation consultation at 844-284-4863. That's 844-284-4863. Or online at LoneStarTransfer.com. That's LoneStarTransfer.com.
If you've fallen behind in your credit card payments during the shutdown, you're probably feeling some added pressures. But you don't have to solve these problems alone. Trinity Debt Management can help. All you have to do is give Trinity a quick call, and we'll take care of the rest. No one really knows what the future will bring, but one thing is for sure. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Here's the number.
Call 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. And I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
Right now, MyPillow has a special offer for you. 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. Each pillow is made in the USA and is machine washable and dryable. Call 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Annie to get 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. That's 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Annie.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Promo code Annie.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Clouds and sunshine today with a shower in places this afternoon. High 82 to 84. Patchy clouds tonight, warm with a low of 72 to 75. And mostly cloudy Saturday with a passing shower and a high of 81 to 83. Cloudy and windy Sunday with a couple of thunderstorms. High 79 to 82. Then tropical storm Eta will affect the area Sunday night and Monday with some rain and wind. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holbrook.
Report. I didn't hear that.
You're back on live with Conservative Watch Hour.
And welcome back to the next hour of Conservative Watch Hour. Delgado, WOCA 9.3 and 1370 AM. And we have a special guest. Of course, I have my co-host and Dennis with me. And we have a special guest on here, Danny Guy-Quan. Hello.
Hello, I'm hitting.
Is Dan
We're
on
live.
yet?
Go ahead.
Is Danny Guy-Quan?
Are you there, Annie? Are you there, Annie?
Yes, I am.
Very good. So we're working. We can hear you. Someone did try to call in, but it dropped out again. So if you have a guest calling in momentarily?
I do.
Oh, calling on a different line. Let's try that one and see what that brings up. You're WOCA Live. Can I help you?
Yeah, you guys are having a great radio show today.
Ah, okay. This is a caller. Andy, you want to talk to a caller?
Yeah, sure, of course. I'm speaking with.
Go ahead, caller. Who's this?
Hello?
We're here. We
Hello?
can hear you. Hello, hello. We can hear you.
Okay. Annie, I just want to tell you and all the listeners, keep the faith. We win. God's in control. A lot of ballots with no watermark. A lot of phony stuff going on. They're busting them left and right. Praise God, we win.
Amen to you. Amen to you.
And I want to thank you for all the hard work you put in. You know, I've never seen anybody work like you but Donald Trump. You're just phenomenal. So thank you for all the encouragement and all the hard work. We can't give up now. We're going to keep pressing them. We're not going to give in to this.
Yes, we are. We are. Thank you, sir. It's the first and foremost. It's our constitutional right.
Okay.
Make sure that we have a legitimate election.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate the call, caller. We're having a little technical here. Thank you very much for calling in.
Thank
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Annie, you're back.
All right. So do we have the 2828 line going?
We are waiting for another phone call to come in. It has not come in yet. And it was our guest was due, but I don't see it coming in. If it does, I will immediately, without hesitation, put him on the air without any more ado. So it's up to you, Annie.
Fantastic. Well, we'll just keep rolling right along here. You know, certainly we know that Satan's on a rampage, and we will not disrupt this one bit whatsoever. But that being said, let me just stay focused on the facts that are important for our listening audience to understand. We spoke about the process. We spoke about the opportunities. Now, we have seen how different states in the middle of the night have come up with these hundreds of thousands of votes that miraculously, all of them, went to Biden. That's unheard of. That is certainly not the process that this nation was founded on and our Constitution was founded on. So we do have an extraordinary team under the leadership of Rudy Giuliani that will absolutely ensure that we have fair elections. But not only that, so will our legislators, each and every state. I cannot emphasize it enough. Even though we have already won Florida, we must make sure that all states, all of the states, the legislators take this over so that we can stop the shenanigans that they are pulling to try and steal an election. And I'm going to take a minute here to see if I can reach my guest. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Annie Marie Delgado with Conservative Watch Hour. She has a special guest she's trying to get a hold of, and apparently you can't do two things at once, so she's concentrating on her phone, and we don't want any dead air, so I'm just jumping in here for the moment while she is trying to get someone very important and very interesting on the line, and I will try to facilitate that once this mysterious person calls in. I do not even know who it is, so it's got to be somebody that's very important. And Annie has, in the past, had great guests, as you know, and the listenership more so is I'm getting good reports that she's doing something that we're all interested in, and that is the name of the game. That's what we do here at WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM. We try to bring different subjects to our listeners here, not only locally but nationally, and we try this every time that we can to keep you informed. And Annie, are you still working on your texting over there? Well, I guess she's still on the line, but she's not responding to me. So I don't know what's happening with her phone. Maybe she's trying to do two things at once, texting, and apparently it shuts off her ability to talk to us because we are live, and I can actually see that she's still connected to us here at. Oh, I hear her. Hello.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe. You see, that's what team playing's all about. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, right now, as we all know, we've got folks going in so many different directions. And should my special guest be able to get free from right now, as we all know, we're pulled in so many different directions. We just saw our wonderful Pam Bondi, which everyone knows Pam Bondi, and Corey Lewandowski, which is our senior advisor with the Trump campaign. They're out there. They're all out there working hard and trying to get this rectified. So if indeed I'm able to do that, they'll call in. But in the meantime, again, the message needs to be clear to each and every one of us. It is our civic duty to make sure that we have fair elections, that, when we go out there and we vote, that is our civic duty. If you don't do that, then I don't want to hear anyone complaining about anything if you don't vote and if you don't become part of the process. And now part of the process is for each and every one of us to contact our legislators to ensure that we have their elections. And you can also contact the legislators of these other states. Just because you don't live in that state doesn't mean that you don't have your civic right and duty. Your civic right and duty doesn't end in your state, because we are the United States of America. So with that being said, we do have some processes going on currently right now. And this is where I want to give some people just an ease of mind and peace of mind that there are processes taking place that will be victorious. We will be victorious because it is blatant, the fraud that's going on, the corruption that's going on. And, President Trump says it rightfully so. It's not just on one side. Just recently, he was in Sanford, Florida, then Ocala, Florida, then the Villages, then Apopka. And he repeated himself multiple times, not just the Democrats. We have rhinos on the Republican side. Rhino stands for a Republican in name only. And these never-Trumpers that are also partaking in this kind of despicable behavior. And these people are doing it for a reason. They have been in the swamp for decades. Mr. Trump is upsetting their little apple cart. Because when you think about it, these folks go in there and their average salary is $175,000. How is it that they become millionaires within the first year? First year, they're millionaires. How does that happen? On a salary of $175,000. Well, we know how that happens. Corruption, dear folks. There's one man that has been a mentor to me, a friend to all of us. His name is Rush Limbaugh. We pray for Rush Limbaugh right now as he deals with his medical situation. But he has been a godsend to all of us. When I first started listening to him, I was a kid. Just a kid. And that man made sense to me. He still makes sense to me. He still makes sense to a lot of us. And if we listen to his final words as he's saying them day by day, my heart is aching for him right now as they say that he doesn't have long to live. And that makes me sad. But I can tell you that we in the media know and understand that we must get the truth out always. There was a time when there were people that were called journalists, and we will respect them. We're no longer there, folks. When we have the mainstream media, and now Fox, too. I'm throwing them right in the bucket with them, that are absolutely pushing propaganda and agenda against the United States of America, our Constitution, and everything that we live and fight for, our freedom and our liberty. And that part right there, let's never forget what happened in the 40s in Germany. That's how they started. They silenced the people. They disarm you. They take away media. Everything that's happened then is repeating itself. But we the people, Americans, all Americans, must rise up and never let this country be socialist or communist, ever. That's their agenda. The fear-mongering that has been going on. There's so many people that call me. Yesterday, I felt like I should have just put on a white jacket like I'm a doctor because I felt like a psychiatrist, for God's sake. But thank my Heavenly Father. I praise you, Jesus, each and every day that you give me the strength to find the word and the wisdom, to have the compassion, to be able to lift these people up. And I'm doing this today. I'm doing it right now. Keep the faith, people. God is in control. Every single part of this will be resolved. We're going to take a little break right now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. And I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
Right now, MyPillow has a special offer for you. 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. Each pillow is made in the USA and is machine washable and dryable. Call 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Annie to get 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. That's 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Annie.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Promo code Annie.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Clouds and sunshine today with a shower in places this afternoon, high 82 to 84. Patchy clouds tonight, warm with a low of 72 to 75. And mostly cloudy Saturday with a passing shower and a high of 81 to 83. Cloudy and windy Sunday with a couple of thunderstorms, high 79 to 82. And tropical storm Eta will affect the area Sunday night and Monday with some rain and wind. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holbrook.
And welcome back to the Conservative Watch Hour here on our last segment, the bottom half hour here. And my name's Annie Marie Delgado. I'm here with my co-host, Ann Vandersteel from Steel Truth. Miss Ann, how we doing, girl?
Good. Just making sure that the public in general knows about the process we're going through. And I'm so excited to know that we're seeing support from other communities around the world in terms of making sure that President Trump is duly reelected as he should have been on Tuesday. But, it's just nice to know that other people are waking up and seeing this. We're not living in a vacuum here.
That's amazing. I mean, did you see the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people in India, Nigeria, and all these different countries in?
I know. They see it. They understand the gravity of the election in the United States. They understand how important it is that we continue to have President Trump draining the swamp, because he's not only draining the swamp here, he's draining the swamp worldwide and is exposing the world leaders that have been living off of its constituents for hundreds of years. This goes back. This is just how the world has been built, but it's not how it should be. Just because you've done it every single day doesn't mean it's right. And our country is built on the sweat equity of people who wanted to get away from, tyrannical reign and not go back to it. And the Venezuelans proved it. And the Cubans proved it in South Florida. They don't want socialism. They understand. We just got to continue to educate.
Nicaragua, absolutely. Argentina, Nicaragua, Brazil, the Russians, the Polish. There's so many.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. So, Annie, going forward, if this process that we're talking about at the top half of the hour goes through the state legislatures, let's say everybody in all 50 states starts calling their House reps and their House Senate and their state senators and demanding they take over the electoral process, we have, the majority of the country's state houses are Republican held, so it could stop there if 28 say, this electoral process goes to the president and 22 say no because they're Democrat. Doesn't that stop the process there and he wins there, or does it have to go on to the United States Senate?
Well, the Senate always ratifies anything that the House does. The House, whatever they pass, must go and get ratified in the Senate. It doesn't matter what case is. And so, yes, it will get ratified in the Senate. And we, by the grace of God, thank you, Jesus, we maintained our majority in the Senate. And that would be the end of it.
And if it doesn't end there, then it goes on to the Supreme Court?
Yes. Should it not, for some crazy reason, then it would go to the Supreme Court. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I think that's what people really need to know. It's incumbent upon us to stop being lazy, voting Republic and start stepping in and demanding that the states take over this election process. It is so important. If you didn't vote November 3rd, now is your chance to make it right. Call your state legislature, and I actually tweeted out a link to a website where you can just type your zip code in, and it will tell you who your House rep is and who your state senator are, and you can immediately contact them and say, please take over the election process.
And can you pull that link up and air it to our listening audience?
Absolutely. It's openstates.org, openstates.org, and it takes you to finding your legislator. You type your zip code in. Very easy.
That's how simple it is. That's how simple it is.
Openstates.org. Yep, and once you get the names of your legislators.
That's what? OPEN, right?
Correct.
States.org.
Correct.
STATES, openstates.org. Put in your zip code, look up your legislator, and call them. Everyone in Florida should be doing this. Every state across this nation should be doing this. That's the call to action for today. Now, I can tell you that we continue. Trump Team 2020 Florida is now arranging and planning a statewide out there from Pensacola to Miami. Every boat, every truck, every golf cart, every motorcycle, every car, every street corner sign waving. We're going to light this state up and let this nation know that we will not tolerate stealing an election from Donald J. Trump.
That's right.
So be on the lookout. Go to my page, Trump Team 2020 Florida. You can go to my personal page on Facebook if you want. Certainly, you can call me at area code 561-779-3535. I'm working in conjunction with my colleagues in multiple different states. And we will be doing this nationwide to show you cannot steal this election. And each and every one of these states, we will be calling our legislators and telling them, take control of your state and your election.
Well, Annie, I believe that's the best marching orders we can give today for everybody is to pick up the torch and carry it forward. If your state matters, if your freedom matters, if your constitutional rights to defend your family, peacefully assemble, including rights to privacy, free speech, all of it, if that matters to you, you need to step in right now and demand that these states take over the election process so we can end this nonsense with the steal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we did tremendous work in the state of Florida here, and we increased our numbers. We worked very hard, and especially the Hispanic community, which came out, in incredible numbers, but not only just in Florida, across the nation, because these people understand, you know, they ran away and left and escaped communism and socialism. And then when they hear that word, you know, I was just recently interviewed by multiple different television stations, radio stations, newspapers. And I said, look, it's very simple. What did Joe Biden offer them? Nothing. He said, I'm going to make it so that you live in the place that you ran away from. Socialism. It's not going to work. Not going to work. That's
no, it's not, Annie.
No. And we were in Florida, and let me tell you something. The black community, you know, and I even hate to have to say, you know, segment us like that. You know, just you know, as you know, these folks and that folk and whatever it may be. But no, my God, are you kidding me? The Vietnamese, the Indian community. Annie, tell us a little bit about what happened in Houston. Oh shit! Oh, oops. Sorry. We're out of time. I'm going to have to get off the air. Sorry about that. But, folks, thank you for listening. Tune in to us next week. We're going to continue with this as we go on. Have a blessed weekend, everyone.
This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The Associated Press is reporting this hour Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden took narrow leads in Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Nevada, putting him in a position to win the election. With lawsuits pending in those states, President Trump is very concerned about voter irregularities and GOP observers not being allowed to watch the count, especially of mail-in ballots, which Trump over the summer called vote harvesting. Joe Biden appeared in Wilmington on Thursday night to urge patience as mail ballots continue to be counted and to let the process work itself out. What was once Hurricane Eta has made a U-turn and is likely to strike South Florida on Sunday as a tropical storm. It will pick up energy as it treks through the warm waters of the Caribbean. The path is not certain, but overnight change in the storm's expected turns means the Keys, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County are right back in the center of where Eta could hit. USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had begun to notice after 10 days with Balance of Nature, I felt better, more energetic, and believe me, for me, that's something because I have energy anyway, but as old as I am, that was really something to start really noticing. You know, we're all responsible for choosing what our attitudes are, but I had a better mental outlook. I mean, I always try to be positive, but there were subtle things in me that I began to notice. I just felt a difference with this.
Get a wide variety of all your daily recommended servings of whole fruits and vegetables without having to leave your home. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
The Sun newspaper in the United Kingdom is reporting Russian President Vladimir Putin is going to step down as the leader of Russia. Rumors are swirling that Putin